Be honest. What comes to mind when you hear Boulder, Colorado? Maybe you think of the stunning Rocky Mountain backdrop or the laid-back college town vibe. But for true crime followers, Boulder will forever be linked to one of the most haunting child murders in American history. It was Christmas night, 1996. While most families were winding down from their holiday celebrations, something sinister was unfolding inside a 15-room Tudor mansion. By morning, a frantic 911 call would shatter the peaceful neighborhood's silence, and in the basement of that picture-perfect home, a discovery would be made that would shock the nation and spawn decades of theories, accusations, and unanswered questions. A 6-year-old beauty queen, a bizarre ransom note, and a family under intense scrutiny. This is the story of JonBenet Ramsey, a case that proves sometimes the most disturbing crimes happen right under our own roofs, behind perfectly maintained facades, in the places we're supposed to feel safest. Was it an intruder who crept into the Ramsey home that night? Or did something far more sinister occur within the family itself? After 25 years, we still don't have answers. But today, we're going to walk you through every detail, every piece of evidence, and every theory about what really happened to JonBenet Ramsey. Full disclosure, this case involves the death of a child and contains details that some viewers may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Let's start at the beginning.
On the morning of December 26, 1996, in the affluent neighborhood of Boulder, Colorado, a frantic 911 call would mark the beginning of one of America's most enduring and controversial true crime mysteries. The death of 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey continues to captivate and perplex investigators and true crime enthusiasts alike, more than 25 years later. Patricia Patsy Ramsey, a former beauty queen herself, called 911 at approximately 5:52 a.m. Her voice trembled as she told the dispatcher she had found a ransom note demanding $118,000 for her daughter's safe return. The amount was suspiciously close to the Christmas bonus her husband, John Ramsey, had recently received from his successful computer company. The 3-page ransom note, unusually long for its kind, was discovered on the spiral staircase of the family's 15-room Tudor-style mansion. Written with a Sharpie on paper from a legal pad found in the house, the note addressed John Ramsey specifically and claimed to be from a small foreign faction. The note's peculiar phrasing and odd demands would later become crucial elements in the investigation. The Boulder Police Department arrived within minutes. Officers conducted an initial search of the house but found no signs of forced entry. They advised the Ramseys to await further instructions from the supposed kidnappers, as demanded in the ransom note. Friends and family began arriving at the house, potentially contaminating what would later be recognized as a crime scene. Hours passed with no contact from the alleged kidnappers. At approximately 1 p.m., Detective Linda Arndt suggested John Ramsey and his friend, Fleet White, search the house again. They headed to the basement, where John made a discovery that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Behind a latched door, in a small dark room known as the wine cellar, lay the body of JonBenet. She was wrapped in a white blanket, with duct tape covering her mouth, and a garrote fashioned from cord and a broken paintbrush handle tied around her neck. Her wrists were bound above her head, and she wore the same clothing she had on the previous night, white long johns, and a shirt with a silver star. The autopsy, conducted by Dr. John Meyer, revealed disturbing details about JonBenet's final moments. The cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation by strangulation associated with craniocerebral trauma. In simpler terms, she died from strangulation and a severe blow to the head. The head injury was extensive, an 8.5-inch fracture on the right side of her skull. The blow was so severe it would have rendered her unconscious immediately. However, the evidence suggested she was alive when the garrote was applied, as indicated by petechial hemorrhaging in her eyes and face. The autopsy also revealed small abrasions on her body and evidence of prior vaginal trauma, though the significance and timing of these injuries remain disputed among experts. From the outset, the investigation was plagued by mistakes that would later prove crucial. The crime scene was not properly secured, with friends and family allowed to move freely through the house. Evidence was potentially contaminated or destroyed before crime scene technicians could properly document and collect it. The Boulder Police Department, more accustomed to handling minor crimes and traffic violations in the peaceful college town, found themselves overwhelmed by the complexity of the case and the intense media scrutiny it attracted. The ransom note became one of the most scrutinized pieces of evidence in the case. Written on paper from the Ramseys' home and with a pen found in the house, the note's content raised numerous red flags. Its length, 3 pages, was unusual for a ransom note. It contained movie quotes and unusual phrasing. The demanded amount matched John Ramsey's bonus. The writer appeared to be familiar with John's business and personal life. Handwriting experts analyzed the note extensively. While John Ramsey was quickly ruled out as the author, some experts claimed to find similarities between Patsy's handwriting and the ransom note, though she was never conclusively linked to it. The Boulder Police Department quickly focused their investigation on the family, particularly John and Patsy Ramsey. Several factors contributed to their suspicion. No signs of forced entry were found. The ransom note was written on materials from inside the house. The body was found hidden in a remote part of the house. The demanded ransom amount matched John's bonus, and the family's behavior was considered unusual by some investigators. The Ramseys maintained their innocence and eventually hired their own investigators and experts. They appeared on national television, gave numerous interviews, and wrote books proclaiming their innocence. Burke Ramsey, JonBenet's 9-year-old brother at the time, was also investigated. Some theorists suggested he might have been involved in an accident or confrontation that led to JonBenet's death, with the parents staging the crime scene to protect him. Burke has consistently denied any involvement and successfully sued several media outlets for defamation. While the Boulder police focused primarily on the family, others believed an intruder was responsible. Supporters of this theory point to several pieces of evidence, unidentified DNA found in JonBenet's underwear and under her fingernails, a partially open basement window with a disturbed cobweb, unidentified boot prints in the basement, unexplained marks on JonBenet's body, and reports of suspicious persons in the neighborhood. Several potential suspects were investigated over the years, including John Mark Carr, who falsely confessed to the murder in 2006. His DNA did not match evidence from the crime scene, and his account contained numerous inconsistencies. In 2008, then District Attorney Mary Lacey officially exonerated the Ramsey family based on touch DNA evidence found on JonBenet's clothing. However, this decision has been criticized by many experts who argue that the DNA evidence was not conclusive enough to clear anyone. The DNA profile, found in minute amounts on JonBenet's underwear and leggings, has never matched any suspect in the case. Some experts suggest it could be transfer DNA from manufacturing or handling of the clothing, while others maintain it belongs to the killer. Over the years, several theories have emerged about what happened that Christmas night, the family cover-up theory. This theory suggests that either Patsy or John killed JonBenet, possibly in a fit of rage over bedwetting or other behavioral issues, and staged the crime scene to look like a kidnapping gone wrong. The Burke did it theory. Some believe Burke accidentally killed his sister, perhaps during an argument over food. Pineapple was found in JonBenet's digestive system, and the parents staged the scene to protect him. The Intruder theory. This theory holds that an outsider, possibly someone familiar with the family, entered the house, killed JonBenet, and wrote the ransom note to confuse investigators. The pageant circuit theory. Some speculate that someone connected to the child beauty pageant circuit was responsible, pointing to the controversial nature of these events and the attention they brought to JonBenet. The investigation has been criticized for numerous mistakes and missed opportunities. 1. Failure to properly secure the crime scene. 2. Allowing too many people in the house during the initial investigation. 3. Not separating and interviewing the parents immediately. 4. Focusing too quickly on the family while ignoring other leads. 5. Poor communication between agencies involved in the case. And 6. Leak of information to the media. The murder of JonBenet Ramsey changed how America viewed child beauty pageants and raised questions about the sexualization of young girls in these competitions. The case also highlighted the challenges of investigating crimes in wealthy communities and the impact of media coverage on criminal investigations. The case brought attention to the limitations of forensic science in the 1990s and the importance of proper crime scene management. It also demonstrated how wealth and social status can influence criminal investigations and media coverage. In December 2021, the Boulder Police Department announced they would be using new DNA testing methods to re-examine evidence from the case. They partnered with genetic genealogy experts who have helped solve other cold cases using similar techniques. The Ramsey family continues to advocate for the investigation to be taken away from the Boulder Police Department and given to an independent agency. They believe fresh eyes and new technology might finally bring answers to this decades-old mystery. The murder of JonBenet Ramsey remains one of America's most infamous unsolved crimes. The case contains elements that continue to perplex investigators. A peculiar ransom note, conflicting physical evidence, and multiple plausible theories about what happened that Christmas night. Whether it was a family member trying to cover up an accident, an intruder with a personal vendetta, or someone else entirely, the truth about who killed JonBenet Ramsey remains elusive. As technology advances and new investigative techniques emerge, there's hope that someday this tragic mystery will be solved. The case serves as a reminder of how complex criminal investigations can be, how crucial proper evidence handling is, and how the court of public opinion can influence the course of justice. If you found this deep dive into the JonBenet Ramsey case intriguing, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth true crime analysis. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on who you think was responsible for JonBenet's death. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest uploads. Together, we can keep discussing these important cases and maybe even help bring justice to the victims.